Hi everybody, I'm just making a quick tutorial video for people who may not be familiar with e-CImpact and to just kind of quickly talk a little bit about some of the changes for this year. This year for the community impact grants, we are moving to a 2-year funding cycle. What that means is if you are awarded funding for a community impact grant this year, that you get fully committed for that first year with the option to renew the second year. And the renewal happens as long as you're making all of your reporting and your program is going as stated in your application. If there are any issues with your program, such as it stops running or the funds are being mismanaged, you may lose out on that second year. But really what it is doing is taking away another application process. So it's a little bit easier for you and a little bit easier for me. If anybody has any questions about this change, just give me a call at 641-423-1774 or shoot me an email and I can clarify further. What I'm going to do here is just kind of go through the e-CImpact system and for you a chance to see and hopefully answer any questions when you are going through the application. So I'm going to share my screen here. So here you see our United Way website. To get to your e-CImpact login, you're going to want to go to our partners and then just hover over it. You don't have to click it, and then go to funded program resources. And you'll see this partner agency e-CImpact login. You can click on the logo or you can click on the link here. And you'll see here. So if you get to a e-CImpact login site that asks you for your organization code, it's a corrupted link. Don't use that. I shouldn't say corrupted. I don't know if it's corrupted, but it just is not the right link. So go back to our website, and if you go through our website, you won't get that code, but if you go through sometimes a shared link through email, sometimes you'll get that you have to add an org code. And I don't know why it does that, but it's just an incorrect code. So you want to hit enter your email here and your password, and it will lead you to your home page. So you can see here everything that you need to do. So you'll see your letter of intent that's already been submitted. If you have a previous year's report still active, that'll be here. And then the community impact grant. So you can see that there. You can see your name up here. If you want to change your password, it is up here at the top. And then you can make adjustments to your user profile here. So say you're a new, say you're taking over from somebody else and that previously did this and it has their information. Maybe I'm not Jennifer Aarons anymore. I'm Susie Q, and so I want to change that, and you just hit save and update, or save and return, and or cancel and return to the previous page. So I'm going to do that. You can also add different contacts to your organization here too. So if you wanted to add a different contact, you could add that person and what their role is. Program profiles you can edit here too. So if you have a program and you've changed addresses or phone numbers, or there's a different program email, so maybe you're a grant writer but the email has a program but the program has a coordinator you would like to have on record there, that would be a good place to do that. You can also see all of the email that I send through e-CImpact here, and you can view it and the status. You should also be able to see some past things. So you've got your 2021 mid-year report and then the 21-22. So you can see your grant from last year if you so need to, and you can click in there and see what you put and all of that kind of thing. And then you can see here, you can get to the 2022-2024 Community Impact Grant here. And this is where you start to fill out your application. And so if you're in, so I set this up so I'm test agency and I can enter my information here. If you have filled out stuff before, it will automatically fill in things for you here. And if there's a star by it, you have to enter that information. So if there's a different contact person, you can do that. If they have a different title, phone number, and then you want to, if you're all done filling that part out, you want to hit save my work and mark as complete. If you are filling any form out and you're like, I'm going to come back to this, save my work and return to the previous page or save my work. But I am all done filling this part out, so I'm going to save my work and mark as complete. And you can see the status here has changed from completed and ready to submit. Agency attachments, you'll want to upload those files. So we ask for a copy of your 990, most recent agency financial statement, and that could be you know, a P&L or what you share with the finance committee. And then your board of directors roster. And I am just going to add a bunch of random stuff because I don't want to go through all these and try and find them in my computer. But so once you've got those all uploaded, you can save attachments and return to the previous page, and you can see here that that section is now completed and ready to submit. So you only have to do the agency information once. So if you have different programs, you'll see these forms here. These are 2 different programs that I'm applying for. And the first part is the program narrative. You'll want to enter the request that you're doing. If you were a funded partner last year, you would just hit yes or no, how much you were awarded last year, and you will want to enter your program description, which is just whatever your program does. So this test program gives tests to dogs. It's not really the education. Why are we requesting, describe why the program for which you are requesting funds fit in one of our impact areas. And obviously I'm just having a little fun with this. So dogs need to be tested for reading, which fits under our education. You'll want to fill in how, if there's a lot of crossover between education, financial stability, or health. So if you feel like your program also fits into another impact area, you'll want to say smart dogs are healthier. Obviously, probably go into more detail, and we don't usually fund programs for dogs, but describe the specific local needs, and you would want to say, you know, this is addressing a situation in Mason City or in Algona or in Osage or in Kossuth County or whatever, how your program impacts that need, and please describe how you identified that need. So this could be where you say, you know, we did focus groups and found that people are not sure how smart their dogs are, and they really wanted to find that out. And that's where you would want to put that information in there. or you could use census or any kind of data you have. You don't need to like put 100 data points in there, but for a stronger application, it shouldn't be something like, well, we really feel this is a need. That doesn't really tell us why you've identified this as a need. Identify all the counties that your program serves people in. You don't have to serve all 8 counties, but in just wherever you're providing services is where the program provides services is where you'll want to highlight. If your target population is, you know, dogs aged 2 to 5, that's where you want to enter that. If you're working with any other organization, how you'll be using the funds for this program, exactly how United Way funding will be used. Describe how this program would stand on its own if United Way funding is decreased or discontinued. One thing I'd like to kind of reiterate is that United Way funding is based on our annual campaign, and there are a lot of things that can impact an annual campaign. Businesses closing, national pandemics, a lot of things can impact what happens to our campaign. And so it's not something that you want to rely on as a given. And so having a plan in place for your program that shows volunteers reading the application that you have a plan for sustainability of the program is always a good thing to have in there. And this kind of goes on to that, like, how are you building long-term strategy? So maybe this, maybe it's just we plan annual fundraiser specific to this program, or we plan on doing this or that, or the additional thing is like provide a short impact story of how you impacted a client. If you're a new program, describe how you intend to impact a potential client, and then anything else you want to include about the program. So, you know, they could take a test, and then they. So it doesn't have to be like we changed this person's life forever and they're just totally fine now. It's more like, how did you impact a client and get them on the road or removed a barrier for them? And so you don't have to be too into what that means, but just it's really, why are you doing the work you're doing? If you're not out there to try and change somebody's life for the better, what are you doing? And we all have stories about how our program has impacted somebody in the community. So when you're done with the program narrative, you'll want to hit save my work and mark is completed. Again, if you're going to come back to it, just save my work and then, or save my work and return to the previous page. And then you'll see that that has changed the status to completed and ready to submit. Program budget, you know, we're asking for 10,000. We've got 50,000 from the government. We've got 2,000 from foundations and 1,000 from corporate, and we don't have program fees, so we'll just put 0 there. So if you have another revenue source, you can click in there and add new item. And I don't have one, so I'm just going to go back to where I was. And then expenses, you'll want to have that kind, even, or it does the math down here for you too. So maybe, it's now we've got a deficit, assistance to individuals we don't do maybe. And then when you're done with that, you'll want to save my work and mark as completed. The budget narrative is just giving a little bit more detail about the funding, where it's coming from, or say you're applying for grants. So you could say, we applied for 2,000 from the Dog Foundation, awaiting reply, or principal funded $1,000 as a corporate gift. So, just a little bit more detail into, what those things are. And the expenses, you can have a little bit more detail. And this expenses is for the program, not your entire agency. So Jen gets paid $10,000, $70,000 are dog tests, staff training, NA, assistance to individuals, NA. Anywhere there's a star, you have to put something in. So if you don't have assistance, just put NA and then say my work. And see, I've got a red thing because I left something out. So I need to go down to, I think that should work. Oh, I forgot program fees down here for revenue. So you'll see where when you get a message, you can just click on there and it'll tell you where you need to go to fill that part out. And so if you've missed something, it'll tell you where. Program outcomes and evaluations. When you pick your impact area, it will automatically assign you a goal. So this one is education, and the goal that United Way has is youth are succeeding in school and becoming thriving members of the community. So when you're ready to get your outcome questions, you can select one of, we only have our indicators in there. So you'll have to say number of youth served who feel cared about in the community. You can choose that one. You can go back. You can do one of the other ones. You only have to pick one of these. And so I'm going to save my work and mark as completed. I'm going to have % of clientele reaching desired outcome goals. So I'm projecting that I'm going to serve 100 dogs and 80% of them are going to complete the goal. And it calculates the % reaching the goal. You can select as many indicators as you want, but you only have to choose one. You do have to tell us how you're going to when you're going to measure things. So I'm going to do at start of program and end of program. And program data collection methods, we're going to do a pre and post test survey. And then you'll want to hit save my work and mark as completed. And you'll see there, you can, again, add as many indicators as you want, but you only have to choose one. You want to save my work and mark as completed, and that status is changed. The investor relations and marketing, that's where you'll want to talk about your success story. And so if there's a different contact person, so say I'm just the administrator for this program, but we've got a program coordinator named Sally. She works, you know, exclusively with golden retrievers, and but you want to say, you know, this is a success story that happened in Worth County or whatever county. Restate the outcome this story links to. So, you know, percent achieving goal, and then the success story, and just enter what happened there. And then down here, it says United Way is granted permission to use this information provided on this form publicly. You could say yes or no. And we use that, you know, to go out when we do the fundraising and the campaign. We need your stories of what has been made possible by United Way funding to get donors to see the impact that their donation can have. So that is the purpose why we ask for those stories. And then what $1 does, this is again helps us when we go out into the public and say, you know, when you donate $1 a week, so $52 a day, that covers kibble for all testing days. 520 per year, you know, just do the math on what you're providing in the community. So if you provide meals, or if you provide rent assistance, or if you provide mentoring, you can enter it in there. So if they're doing $10 a week, maybe that covers rent assistance, or it covers your program to operate for however long. And then again, we ask for permission to use that information. And then the demographic information, this is kind of estimating who you'll be serving. So I think I'll be serving 100 dogs. They'll all be under 6. These, you know, dogs have no income. They're dogs. So 100% will be below the 175% of the poverty limit. If you don't know, or if you don't track income level, you can put unknown. I'm gonna put in here that it's 50-50 females, and then you'll want to add in zeros where there's none, I think. And it does the math for you, so it adds up. And all of these totals should equal. So if you're serving 100 people, but you have 105 here, it won't let you submit. This year we are asking race and ethnicity because of some changes at Worldwide, where we have to be more aware of diversity and inclusion. So these are all dogs, so they're not listed on here. And then save my work and mark as completed. So you will see all of this change. If you have 2 programs, you won't be able to submit your application until these also say completed and ready to submit. Say you have 2 programs listed and something has changed where you're not going to apply for funding for that program anymore. You want to click uncheck this box that says include, and you'll see it grayed out. And so you are no longer including this in your application packet. And when you are done, you will want to, submit the confirmation that this was submitted here. You can also print out your entire packet if you want a paper record of what you've done, and it'll print out your application here. So when you're all done, you want to hit submit this application now. When it's green, it means it's been submitted and you're all done. If it's not green, you haven't submitted it. When you go back to your home page, you can see here that you are 100% done with your community impact grant. If you have questions, you can always reach out to me. I really want to help people be successful in their grant applications, so don't feel afraid to ask me questions. And then you're all done. So that is basically how you apply and use the e-CImpact system to apply for programs through United Way. We don't fund programs for dogs, so I don't really have high hopes of getting funded for that program. But again, if you have questions, just let me know. That's what I'm here for. And all right, the grant this year is due March 1st by 6 p.m. I do not accept late applications. And once your application is submitted, it will get, or once March 1st passes and all applications are submitted, all of those applications will be assigned to a community impact team, which a community impact team is a group of volunteers that review all of the applications and make the allocation decisions on behalf of United Way, because one of our most important tenets is that money that is raised here in the community, it stays here and it's decided by community, by the community. So that helps us fulfill that. Once your application is assigned to a group, you will also be assigned to a presentation day where you come to where you or someone from your organization comes to the community impact team and presents about your program. And it's a fairly informal process where we ask questions and you get a chance to kind of clarify anything in the writing. Sometimes there's things that just don't come across in a written application. And so having that opportunity to speak with the reviewers is a really good opportunity to talk about your program. And once those dates and times are assigned, I can't change those dates or times. And so if you have questions, just let me know again, and good luck on your applications.